Hi guys, welcome to another episode of A Secret Circus. I'm Gemma, I post on Mondays if you forgot, and this week's theme is writing. So basically this week we're going to read out a couple of paragraphs of what we've written, and we're going to read it out to you guys, and you guys can comment with what you think and stuff. What I'm going to read for you today is a couple of paragraphs of what I'm working on at the moment. It's for a project at school, but I also started writing it before the project was handing out because I really liked the idea. It hasn't got a name yet, but hopefully it will, and hopefully after it's finished I'm going to work on getting it published if I like it or not. So yeah, here we go. Gunshots running through the air like launching missiles. That's when I know the servants are onto us. I grab hold of the wrists of Mr. and Mrs. Robertson and run, holding right behind us with their kids, Jamie and Karen. Alex is in front of me, holding a gun so tight his knuckles are white, and his twin Adrian is trailing behind Holden, covering our backs. Our team captain, Kyra, escaped earlier and is waiting out front, hopefully with the getaway car. More shots and more bullets, one zooming right past my ear, so making it feel so hot. I grab it for a second. And suddenly we're outside, the blinding sunlight hitting my eyes and causing everything to become blurry at the sudden contrast from the tunnel under the cemetery and into the blinding sunlight. There is no car waiting for us. Shit, where's Kai? Holden explains. He exclaims. He sounds annoyed, and I know why. This isn't the first time we've had to wait for Kai with the transport. Holden, language. There are little kids around, Alex smirks before taking the family we've just saved. We don't have long. They're right behind us, Adrian says, and I whip out my gun. Mr. and Mrs. Robertson and their kids are ushered behind some bushes for safety, Alex guarding him, his weapon of choice in hand, a custom-made blade with his name carved into it. Quite beautiful. Holden got it for him for his birthday. Holden takes up my left flank. Adrian's on my right. I'm the point of our fighting triangle since I'm the best in our team at combat. It isn't long before we catch sight of the human slaves. They look awful, ugly and disfigured, like they've been pulled apart and put back together like a puzzle done by a 2-year-old. But that's what vampire blood did to you. If you were still human and you've been taking it for a long time, human slaves were bitten repeatedly by their vampire masters. They fed on him or her, and in return the masters gave them vampire blood to drink to build up their strength, so if they died, they would too become a vampire, forever indebted to them. They were loyal towards their masters, and often vampires made them so they could have an army to protect them in the daylight, like now. Except they didn't have a vampire to protect anymore. They were just extremely pissed off about us killing their master. Alex starts slashing at the ones racing toward him and the Robertsons. Alex fires his 2 guns, killing 2 slaves with one shot of the silver bullets. Their companions fire back. Adrian ducks and I cover both of them. I take 2 deep breaths and the whole world slows down. I'm able to concentrate on fighting, one slave at a time. The first one coming at me is a young girl, no older than me. She has a bullet wound in her thigh already, so it shouldn't be too hard to take her down. I throw the first punch. Tucking my gun back in its holster for now, I hit her square in the jaw and she stumbles back, her hand grabbing my wrist before she can make it to the ground. Before she can make her move, I kick her in the chest, hard. She falls backwards and releases her grip. In the time that it takes her to fall back, I grab my gun and fire. She's dead. Before Holden and Adrian can take down another 10 slaves, I've killed 12, and Kyra finally turns up with the transport. Holden and I cover Adrian and Alex while they get the Robertsons into the pale blue van. We take down another 4, and a few somehow manage to give Holden a black eye and me a cracked rib, a punch in the jaw that's going to give me a wicked bruise tomorrow morning. Holden rolls into the van and the guys pull me in before slamming the door and speeding away. And that's all I'm going to share with you. I'm so sorry for my terrible reading voice. I'm not really used to reading my stuff aloud, so I'm a bit nervous. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next week, I guess.